Welcome to everyone for joining us for the Royle webinar on all things postal. Today we're going to talk about a variety of things, and granted, postage and USPS stuff is not the most scintillating subject, but it certainly bears a great deal of importance considering the time and expense everyone associates with getting their product in the mail. So we're happy to play a role in hopefully making sense of some of these things. I'm joined today. I'm Chris Carpenter, the owner of Royle Printing. I'm going to really serve as more of a moderator and a host. The more important person that's part of this webinar is Todd Kentoff. Todd is our resident postal expert. He has over 33 years of industry experience, primarily in mailing and distribution. He's a respected resource for not only Royle and our customers, but he also serves as an advocate to the mailing industry, serving on various committees or boards to help facilitate better relations with the United States Postal Service. He has worked with some of the industry's largest print and distribution companies, helping them build and develop co-service business units, including co-bind, co-mail, commingle, and various postal optimization strategies. Today, he leads Royle's printing, mail, and distribution team, working closely with our customers in executing and creating effective and cost-efficient mail plans. Todd, welcome.
Hi, thank you for that introduction, Chris.
Yeah, my pleasure. How long have we known each other, Todd?
On Friday, it'll be 37 years.
Oh my goodness. Neither of us have changed much, right? Is that fair?
That's very fair. Absolutely.
So you work so much with our customers. What would you say is your favorite aspect of working with our customers?
Yeah. You used the word a little while ago, demystify, right? And I would say, helping again, demystify the USPS, right? Helping people navigate through, these rules and regulations and how it works. Everything from how do we lower our rates? How do we get mail pieces in on time? How do we do better addressing? So there's lots of different things within the industry that you need to know and focus on. But yeah, working one-on-one with customers is what I really enjoy.
Yeah, and I think you do a great job of it. A little overview of what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about what lies ahead. So we know we've got a January increase around the corner. We've got some looming increases in July. They're not in stone, but we'll talk about what those consist of. And then we'll jump to how can we mitigate these increases, starting with how do we better take advantage of the USPS promotions. And for purposes of our audience, we're mostly a marketing mail. There's a lot of things that fall under that category. So we'll focus on that primarily today. We'll also talk about some basic list management hygiene issues. And then, of course, how do we better take advantage of the co-mail, co-mingle, all the other services that we offer? So, Todd, I'm going to hand this off to you. Let's talk about the increases for both January and July. If you could just outline that for us, please.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hopefully this isn't news to anybody on the call here, but the last few years, USPS has gone to twice annual increases in January and July. The chart on the screen here, is from USPS, and you can see right now here on January 21st, we will have the next rate increase going in effect, and that increase is promoted as being a 2% increase. And then what we're looking at anticipating here in July, you can see they're saying 6 to 7%. I'm hearing even numbers more like 8 and 9%. Increases as well. And the thing to take away from these numbers and things that you read about is, keep in mind, when they say they're going to increase their 2%, that means they're going to look to increase their revenue by 2%. How they come up with that 2%, it's not just a 2% across the board. Everybody gets something a little bit different. And they also have to account for, because they know that they're going to have a reduction in volume. And so they need to net out this 2% is what they're targeting. So just always take in mind that you should ask the question, what does this mean to me? right? Typically, they will put the actual rates out about 3 months in advance. So you can start to figure out, how does this new rate structure impact my exact situation, right? And if you don't know how to do that, you don't know where to get the information from, reach out. Reach out to your salesperson, and they can submit a request to me, and we'll go through and we'll do that exercise for you, and we'll give you that feedback. But suffice to say, nobody is average. There are winners and there are losers to that 2%, or in the July time period, that 6 and 7% number. So, and just again, beware. Postmaster General has come out and stated he wants the money, essentially. So you can expect the twice annual increases for the foreseeable futures. I read something yesterday. Somebody thought that was going to end after 2025, and someone else didn't have that same opinion on it. So I would just say, be prepared. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Let's jump to more positive news, Todd. Let's talk about how to mitigate these increases. And I think we'll start with, excuse me, the promotions that the USPS has kind of, they've kind of said two things. One, these increases are going to come, but we're also going to give you guys some incentives to do things a little bit differently to try and lower those increases. And with that, I'll hand that off to you.
Yeah. Yeah, so once again, USPS came out a number of years ago offering some promotions, and they've evolved through the last few years. Many of them have continued on. Some of them have continued on, and they just kind of go underneath a different category and things. But they're absolutely available. The thing I'm going to point out is that if you are doing a periodical, if you pay periodical rates of postage and you're on this call, you are not able to take advantage of these promotions. Your mail class is underwater. You're not covering your costs. So as a result, they will not give you additional discounts because of that. But if you're first class mailers, if you're marketing mail, which probably the majority of you are marketing mail, you can absolutely take advantage of these different promotions. So on the screen here is the promotion calendar for 2024. So I want to point out a few things about it. Number one, if you go down that left-hand column, you can see that there's different colors here. So the ones that are grayed, number 1, 3, and 5, those are available for marketing mail and first class mailings. Okay. That's what we're going to focus on, because that's what we're doing on your behalf. The other ones in the dark blue, those are available for first class mail services. We're not going to touch on them. If you think that you could maybe take advantage of these, feel free to reach out separately, and we can certainly go through those in a little bit more detail as well. But if we could stay on that calendar just for a moment, thank you. Things to notice here. The dark blue band, that's showing you this is when any mailing that's presented and paid for during those time periods, that's when this promotion can be applied. Okay, the front light blue portion, that's when the registration period is open and you can get approvals for things like that. So note that some of these are kind of in the front half of the year, and note that some of them are in the back half of the year. So if you take advantage of different ones, you can actually be taking some sort of discount on your mailings throughout the majority of the year as well. So,
and with these three that we have up top, again, you're not able to use them in combination with one another. Is that correct?
That's correct. If you're presenting a mailing, and you can only take one promotion at a time. And the way they would look at it is, when we present a mailing statement, that's the mailing. If you wanted to take two different ones, I could present two different mailing statements, one for one drop and one for another drop, taking two different promotions, but they can't be on the same pieces at the same time. Yes, that's a good point.
That's a good part.
And
let's jump to
that question gets asked a lot.
Yeah, And then as we finish this whole thing about the promotions, there is one, and that's the volume incentive that you can do in addition to all these, but we'll wait till later on that.
Yeah.
Let's go through emerging and advanced technology. And one of the things we want to talk about, some of this is at a higher level to give an introduction for those of you who aren't aware of these things. And we want to simplify what the promotion is. We also want to make it clear, we want to be the ushers to help anyone who wants to take advantage of these things. I met recently with one of our distribution partners, ALG, and I asked what percentage of a co-mail pool do they feel customers are taking advantage of these promotions? And they said anywhere from 40 to 50%, which was very surprising to me because these things are not hard to enact, and your print partner should be helping you, and it's free money. And as we can hopefully demonstrate for you guys today, we want to be there to help you take advantage of these things. It's one way to mitigate this postal increase. So, Todd, emerging and advanced technology.
Yeah, so emerging and advanced technology, it consists of a number of different things. And depending upon which part of this you would be doing, you could have either a 3 or a 4% discount. So 4% discounts, things like virtual realities or integrating AI into the piece somehow. So what we're going to focus on is the one that's a lot easier for people to do, and that's to use the mobile shopping, and that's through using a QR code. And we have an example here on the screen of someone who's doing just that. In the right-hand side there, you can all relate to that QR code, and it's important to know too that you see that the call to action, that scan to shop. When doing this promotion, if you're going to do the QR code, next slide please, you do need to know a couple things. First off, starting here in 2024, this is now it's referred to, you pick 6. So it's a sliding 6-month time period that you can use this discount for anytime throughout the year. So if you know you're going to use informed delivery at the end of the year, by all means, if you can take advantage of this, do that at the start of the year. Look and see what are the timings of all your mailings. And if you want to use this one, when can you get the most bang for your buck? When are you doing the most quantity, most amount of mailing in any 6-month time period? So different for 2024 than is in the past. First thing is, you as the mail owner need to register for this promotion. Okay, that's different. That's new. On our website,
it's easy, Todd.
It's easy. Yes, we have a document, and we've had a couple of customers walk through the process, and I've got feedback that it's a fairly simple process to do as well. So it takes just a few minutes. So it does involve you having to go through your business customer gateway account. Hopefully everybody is familiar with what that is with the U.S. Postal Service. We do have instructions also on the website on how to set up and create a business customer gateway account. Okay, and if you still don't understand it or are having issues, reach out and I can help walk you through that process as well.
So Todd, if you're a marketing mailer, you've got a website, you've used QR codes, or if you haven't used QR codes, you create the QR codes. QR codes take a customer from a static print page to an actual interactive website, your marketing mail company website. If you do those things, you should take advantage of this promotion, right?
Absolutely. I see no reason why not to, right? Now, there are some restrictions. Now, the scan and the site that takes you to, you do have to be able to place an order. There are some restrictions on what it is. It has to be mobile optimized as well, which I'm assuming most everybody's sites would be mobile optimized as well. But yeah, absolutely. It does not, the sample that we showed was on that customer's back cover. That does not have to be on the back cover. It can be anywhere inside of it. And I'll just anticipate the question. If you have multiple QR codes in the book, you can only claim the discount once. So don't just throw 20 barcodes in there and thinking you're going to get 20 times 3 and get 60% off. It's one of the codes and that's it.
Right. I think we've simplified this. It just makes sense because I think all the things we said in terms of the requirements, most people are doing. If you haven't, we can help you with that. But to sign up for this and take advantage of a 3% discount just makes sense. Is that fair, Todd?
Absolutely, absolutely. And
All
so
right,
once the registration is done, because that's a one time a year thing, right? So then if you're doing, for every event that you're doing, you would have to get that QR code approved for each mail piece, right? And that's as simple as taking a PDF. You can submit it through the Business Customer Gateway account that we just talked about to get that approval, or you can reach out to Royal Printing and we can submit it on your behalf as well.
good.
Todd, we have a quick question, just why it's top of mind. Does my postcard with a QR code that leads to an event registration page, sign up and pay for registration on it work for the emerging tech discount? Or does it specifically need to lead to a shopping experience?
Well, I think that will qualify because that is a bit of a shopping experience. You are signing up for something.
I think the post office likes to call it a call to action, right, Todd?
Yeah, and so my suggestion, I believe that was from Jason, is that we submit it for approval. We get USPS to either approve or deny it in advance. So
one of the things we've been pleasantly surprised is not that the USPS rolls over and approves everything, but they have been pretty generous with the things they've approved. Is that fair, Todd?
Yes, I would say that. Correct.
Yeah, good. If there's no more questions on that, let's jump to the next one: tactile, sensory, and interactive.
Okay, so this one, the thing that catches everybody's attention is at the top of the page, and that you can actually get a 5% discount on your postage on this one. This one has a time period from it's for mailings that are entered February 1st through July 31st. Once again, it's for first class cards, flats, and marketing mail, whether you're regular rate or a nonprofit rate, you would be able to take advantage of this. Some of the things that you're able to do with this, you can have specialty inks. You can use different treatments. We had someone using a product that excuse me, gave the texture of like a little bit of a leather feel. That was approved. You could do like a grit UV, I believe it's called. That was approved. You can do scratch offs. You can even do edible paper. I don't know where you get that from, but so you can actually do that too. Then there's different these interactive elements that pop-ups, clean release cards, things like this that would qualify for that. The one that that many people on the phone will be able to take advantage of is gloss. If you're using gloss paper for 2024, that's still an approved, that's still eligible for the discount. Now, that's only for 2024 and 2025, that's going to go away. But if you're using that, by all means, that's something that can be done too. This whole process is going to involve taking a final mail piece, sending it in for them, because again, you can imagine these are touchy, feely things. These are stuff that we have to send into the post office for them to actually look at, smell, maybe taste the paper, right? So, so there's a little bit of a timing issue. And if you have a project from the past that you think might qualify for some of this stuff, the best for us all to do is to send that in for a pre-approval, make sure that it's not going to be a problem. So when your actual event comes through, we know it's going to qualify.
Todd, if they don't have something from the past and it's new and it obviously hasn't come off press or is bound, can Royle serve to make dummies that could be used for approval process to the USPS?
Yeah, certainly depending upon which one of these things is being looked at and chosen, I think that's very doable.
And bear in mind, it's not just ink or spot, treatments on covers. It can also be bind-ins, attachments, gatefolds, belly bands, all the different things that draw a special attention to a print piece. And again, Todd, are there any barriers that you see why people shouldn't be doing this if they're doing any of these physical treatments?
Absolutely not. No, I think, the spirit of this discount, was that the post office was hoping that if anybody's on the fence to trying some of this stuff, and they're hoping that this might push someone to try it, and then, experience a lift in response rates and realize this is something good and something to keep doing. And that's just kind of their way, because they want to increase the amount of volume going into the mail. They're not looking to just give money away. They're trying to do it with the intent of you building your quantities, and that's how they're gonna get that money back.
And this message comes from me to the Royle sales team. You got to work closely with our customers to go and explore some of these options, whether that's certainly with pricing, but show them examples of things that we've done, because we've done all these things and more. And we've got a library of examples, good examples that we can show you that might fit into these categories. So gosh, between our sales group and our customers, let's take advantage of these things.
Sorry to interrupt. We have another quick question pertaining to this. If we do the previous QR discount during the same time, can this discount stack, or would it be 3 or 5%?
No, and we kind of stated that before. You cannot overlap these. You have to do one or the other.
So I assume, Todd, if one sets a precedence in terms of what they apply for, if that's the 3% versus this one being the 5%, I don't know. It sounds like you'd get the 3%. I think the lesson learned is knowing these are available, think through what it is you're going to be doing in your mail plan and your products this year, right? Because you'd want to take advantage of the highest discount available.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's jump to informed delivery promotion, Todd.
Okay. So informed delivery, this is the one that's going to be running at the end of the year. This is that's where it's been the last number of years here. So again, mail entered on August 31st through December 31st of this year is eligible for this. And this is going to be a 4% discount again. So what I find when talking to people, many people don't know what informed delivery is, so we should probably start there. So informed delivery, as a person receiving mail at my home, I'm signed up for informed delivery. And what that is when a mail piece is coming to my mailbox today, I'm getting an email this morning showing me what it's going to be. If it's a letter piece, I get an actual photo of what that mail piece looks like. If it's going to be a flat, perhaps then it would be a representative image that we're going to discuss in a moment here, but I can see what that is. So this is an opportunity if you're using the informed delivery promotion. And again, you can use informed delivery, this whole process, you can use this 12 months a year. This isn't just during the promotion, but you can only get this additional 4% discount during the promotion period, mind you. So what it's going to do, next slide, please, is it's an email is going to go out to me. So this is on the left-hand side of the screen here. This is a Free People example that they set it up. So this is what you would get in my mail, my inbox, right? The top image, the big image, that's referred to as a representative image. And there's an image over on the right-hand side that shows, that's the front cover of the catalog. So that helps me identify when I pull it out of the mailbox, oh yeah, I saw that in my email, right? Then that smaller image, that's the ride-along image. So if you're doing flat size mail pieces, you have to do the big image. If you're doing letter, you can do just this ride-along image. But
so Todd, how does this work in terms of what's the trigger mechanism on the piece? Once a client, like Free People in this example, signs up for the promotion, what's the trigger on the piece? Yeah. And how does the savings get calculated?
Yeah, so the buried information buried within the barcode on the mail piece that's being read, it contains some certain information that's going to tie that specific address information back to this piece. And so that's what's going to trigger when it's scanned, that's going to trigger this email going out, right? That small image there, you can see it says shop the collection. Well, that's again a call to action. That's a requirement of that image. If you click on that, that will take you to a URL that they provided where you can, again, go to their catalog, look it up, place an order. I'll tell you, the USPS, this program goes to 35 to 40% of addresses are signed up for this. So it's used by a lot of people, right? Post office has claimed on informed delivery a 68% open rate on these emails.
So the theory of this is if you get a print piece and it's connected with informed delivery, it's driving more traffic. It's reinforcing the behavior of print in conjunction with an online presence, et cetera. And Todd explained to them, if only a small portion of your list has signed up for informed delivery, you still get credit on the entire list. 4% discount. Is that right?
Yeah, so using the example up on the screen here, so this cataloger did 1.4 million pieces. So if only 35% of that circulation was signed up for informed delivery, I don't know what the math is, but 600,000 pieces, something like that. But you get to discount this 4% on the entire 1.4 million circulation. So it's not dependent upon a subset of your list. It's you did 1.4 million, you get the 4% discount on the entire thing. In this particular example, that was over $21,000 in savings. So very significant. It's still just 4%, right? So it's 4% regardless of what size budget you're dealing.
Todd, what are the barriers for someone who's listening today to get into this, and why wouldn't more people be doing this?
I don't feel that there should be, barriers to it really. When you sign up, this is where, again, you as a mail owner, you can sign up yourself, right? This is just kind of showing you have to have certain pieces of information. I talked about the stuff on the bottom, the representative issue, the ride-along image, the URL. The stuff at the top, that may come from us, or if you're using a third party for your data processing stuff, it may come from them. So you have to have a combination of your mailer ID and your serial number. This is the information going into your barcode information along with these images. Some people think, well, I'm not a cataloger, I can't take advantage of this. So when you ask about barriers, I think that could be a barrier in some cases. We go to the next slide. I did some work here at the end of the year with one of our publishing customers who, if they're a publisher, but the mail piece is going at marketing mail rates. Again, this promotion is available for marketing mail, not periodicals. So they had to do the same things. On the left is that representative issue. Again, that was just a sample of what their front cover is going to look like. They provided a ride along, and you can see their call to action was to subscribe or renew. And on the right-hand side is the URL. It took you to this their page where you could actually sign up for a subscription. Again, not just to Humper magazine, but to any of their other titles that they've got. And so again, it's maybe be a little creative on where is that taking you to, make sure that it meets their approval, but it should be available for everybody. Again, this is title, did about 20,000 piece circulation, and they save $550.
I think the barrier, in my opinion, is that the USPS sometimes comes off as an intimidating entity, and it really shouldn't be. And it's our responsibility, I think, as your print and distribution mail partner, to help simplify this, kind of the purpose of this webinar. But for anybody who's listening, if you have any concerns or questions, you want to take advantage of these things, call us. Your sales rep should be reaching out to you, but we'll simplify this. Take advantage of these promotions, right, Todd?
Please do. Absolutely.
And we have sorry to interrupt, another question. Would the mail list we supply need to include email addresses for each piece mailed in order to use informed delivery? And then the person receiving would get an email asking them to log in or sign up? Question.
No. So me as the consumer, I've signed up for informed delivery with the USPS. So as a result, I have a zip code. I have a 5-digit zip code. I have a +4 zip code. I have a delivery point zip code. So So they have a number essentially for me. So when they read that number, that's how they're sending these images to my inbox, right? So
But Todd, I'll jump in. When you sign up for informed delivery, part of that sign up or application is you include your email. So then you have your own specific barcode, which is what we read or the post office reads. But in that barcode information is the email that you've already given the USPS. So the 35% of the population in America that uses informed delivery, those emails are already in there.
Right.
Great. Hopefully that answered that. The last promotion that we want to talk about with the USPS is the growth incentive, which can be used in conjunction with all the ones we've just discussed. Walk us through that, Todd, please.
Yeah, so let's separate the two, right? Promotions, those are the things we've talked about. Those things we have to take at the time of mailing. I can't go back the next day, I can't go back the next month and say, hey, oh, I had a QR code on there, I want my 3%. Doesn't work like that. You have to do it at the time of mailing. The USPS has been pretty firm on that and won't budge. So you have to do that at time of mailing. This growth incentive, this is new. This is again not a promotion. This isn't a discount off the postage as we're paying it, but you're going to receive a credit. If you qualify for this stuff, you would receive a credit to use. Again, they're not sending you a check. You will get a credit to apply to a permit for a future mailing. So who can apply for this? So anybody can apply for it. What you need to do, USPS has a baseline time period, and that baseline time period is going to be based on their fiscal year, which was October 1, 2022 through September 30th, 2023. And they're going to increment all of the volume for first class mail and marketing mail, keeping the two separate. And they're rolling it up based on your CRID. The CRID, let me stop. The CRID is a customer registration ID. It's essentially at a company level is generally how it's set up. So they will aggregate all this volume. If you are doing 1 million pieces during that baseline period, okay, in the programs period, which is going to be calendar year, January 1, 2024 through December 31, 2024, they're going to be comparing that volume. When you exceed the volume of your baseline, then any additional volume you have will be eligible for a 30% credit.
On the growth.
On that growth. If you did not have 1 million pieces during your baseline period, but you do exceed 1 million pieces during this 2024 time period, right? They will make your baseline essentially be 1 million pieces. So the growth and the credit would be calculated on anything you would have then over the 1 million pieces. Okay, so they're gonna summarize the numbers. They're going to run these scorecards every quarter. So most people probably, if they do grow that much, probably won't see these credits until the fourth quarter. But again, signing up is free. When you do it through your business customer gateway. You will be presented with the volume that the USPS says is your baseline volume. At that time, you can either accept it or you can, it's not rejected, but you can state that you believe that your volume is something different, in which case you will have to send them some sort of documentation as to how you figured your baseline. And then you'll go back and forth with them until you come up with and agree upon what that baseline will be. So,
and we can help any customer who falls into that bucket, hands down. The simple part of this is, if you anticipate that you're going to grow next year, sign up for this thing. Call us. We'll sign you up. There's no harm, no foul if you don't grow. There's no cost. There's no cost to sign up. If you do grow, you get a 30% credit on that growth. Right, Todd?
Yes, you will.
It's that simple. And you can use this, not a promotion, you can use this program, if you will, on top of any of the other promotions. So they're separate entities, but they can be used in conjunction. So again, I would encourage anyone and everyone to look at this and sign up for it, right, Todd?
Yes, I mean, if at the end of the year, if your volume, even if you started over 1 million pieces with your baseline, and if you just didn't grow, right, for whatever reason, so be it. It
Yeah.
doesn't hurt to sign up.
Yeah, totally agree. I think it was a good overview on these 4, I'm going to call them programs. Thank you, Todd.
Yes.
Another aspect of how we can mitigate postal expenses, some basic list management hygiene issues. And there's things that we see every day that not everyone is practicing the best way. Let's walk through a few of these, Todd, without getting too in the weeds on it. But I think these are important reminders for people.
Yeah. Yeah, so your addresses, your lifeblood, whether you're a cataloger or you're a subscription based, so many addresses we see that come into us each and every issue. You know, we do work on them. We make them better, make them more deliverable, but your database never gets touched and never gets updated with that good information. So you know, good 3C approach for address quality. You know, are you storing the complete address, right? Do you have the directionals? Do you have apartment numbers? Do you have, you know, all of these components? You know, do you have the correct address, right? Many times city, state, and zip information isn't correct, isn't matched. You have misspelled street information, things like that. You know, and then do you have the current address, right? You know, when somebody moves, hopefully they contact the USPS and you know, through the National Change of Address database, so mail can get forwarded on. But do you have that information, and are you updating your lists and stuff like that? Just think, how many times are you using it? So you may send me the list, I may make it complete and correct and current, but you may be using it for stuff that I'm not involved with. And if I had the correct information, but you don't, any of those other programs and things you're doing, you might just be spending additional money, or the mail piece may never even make it to its intended recipient. So, yeah, so I think, next, please. Yeah, I think it's important to have good practices with maintaining your data. So a few things can be done with the data in advance of the mailing. That's things like CAS certifying the list. That's standardizing address elements. That's adding carrier route information. That can help update zip codes and city state zip, make sure they're all in line with each other. NCOA, that's the national change of address. That's the keeping up with the people who are on the move. You know, and unfortunately, historically, only, you know, about 50% of the people who move tell the post office that they move. They may tell the bank, and you know, there are some data compilers out there still who have proprietary change of address information, that you're free to you know, bounce your information up against them and try to keep up with moves, you know, for that other 50% of the people that USPS don't have. Then post mailing solutions, you know, those are things that the mail piece is done, it's gone out. You know, ACS, that stands for Address Change Service. There's a few programs there that can allow you to get that move information back directly from the post office electronically. Again, maybe you don't have to key it in. Maybe you can, you know, program it to do your updates. And you can use ancillary service endorsements are always available that you can put on mail pieces to direct the mail carrier to maybe forward the mail piece and return address information back to you. There's all different ways to do it. You can see a few of them there, but there's different costs that happen based on class of mail and things like that. So you have to be careful with them. But you know, if you have any interest in exploring some of those things, reach out and we can walk you through that as well.
Another component of how we can help our customers mitigate expenses is to use the services we have, the co-services, the co-mingle, the co-bind, custom direct drop ships. Our history, much of it in the co-mail arena, is with ALG. And we've got a relatively new arrangement with NRU, so we want to give them a plug as well. But ALG, in its history, was one of the largest privately owned co-mail providers in the country. The first to introduce mixed class co-mail to the country. They have 2 pools every Tuesday and Thursday with a variety of titles going into them. Again, these are flats, marketing mail. They also have commingle pools from automated letter stuff. Average pool size is 2.5 million. They're very proud of an on-time delivery of 97.5% to the appointments. And then from there, it's in the USPS's hands. But we've seen some very, very good results of the USPS making in-home dates. And I think that's more a reflection of their infrastructure has stayed static while their volume has decreased. So there's more people doing fewer things. And again, co-mail, commingle, custom hybrid drop shipping programs. These are all things that it's incumbent on Royle, in this instance, us, Todd, to create the right solution that's for you. We had a recent example where it was a relatively small marketing mail piece, but there were roughly 500 pounds of mail going to one DDU or SCF. And the way it had been done by a competitor was entering it at the local point of origin where it was produced, which made no sense. You'd want to drop ship that there, which saved them a significant amount of money. Those things are discovered through conversations that we'll have with you, that you'll have with Todd. Our sales force also and customer service team needs to be a part of that, but we encourage everyone to be a part of that. Lastly, I mentioned Enru. It's early in our relationship, but there's some new things that we're doing with high density pools that we're excited to explore with them. So as we know and discover more about that when we work with them, we'll bring that out to the marketplace. Lastly, our business has been formatted and created on customer service. We still believe very strongly in how we work with our employees, but how we work with our customers. And when you work with us, whether it's mailing or print related, please know that it's a single point of contact. Your customer service rep that you deal with here works in conjunction with our distribution partner, in this case, ALG from a co-mail or Enru. And we try to make that process very simple and straightforward, so there's not a lot of confusion on your point. We're proud of that, and that's something that we'll continue to do as a company. Todd, anything else you want to add before we open it up to any questions?
No, I think that covered it very well.
Great. And Sally, at that, if you want to open it up, if people have any questions, otherwise they can do that offline as well.
Yes, if anybody would like to unmute themselves to ask a question, or if you want to post directly in the meeting chat, I'm happy to bring it to their attention.
Great. Thank you, everyone, for participating. If there's a follow-up, please reach out to Todd, myself, your sales rep. But again, we encourage everyone to take advantage of these great opportunities.